We're going to be firing up the old Miller-Matic 251 MIG welder today. We've got a pile of steel over there, a bucket full of gussets and pieces, and some more steel. We're making a rack for a construction truck. And haven't done any welding videos yet, but a little note here is you want to take up the time to fit your pieces correctly when welding. It'll save you big headaches. Here we got some 90-degree magnets in some of the corners. Got some squares, and we're just going to go ahead and tack the 4 corners on this and then measure diagonally to get the main frame of the thing square. Here's a 90-degree magnet and a square to make sure that it's as square as possible, and we're going to tack it. And we'll go ahead and do that to the other 3 corners and then square up the whole piece diagonally. Here we're checking to make sure the piece is square. It was off by a 1/4 inch with this measurement, which actually meant it was 1/8 inch out of square. So after moving this beam a little bit, we got to square up. We're at 155 3/4. And 155 3/4. I'll go ahead and send these welds home. Finished off the corner welds and measured center and welded in a bar there. We're gonna lift this thing off the floor so it's a little easier to work on now. We got one of the uprights fit. We ground the corner weld down to get that on there perfectly flat. And you can see we're putting end caps on all the opens here. Here we're fitting the last cross member, and you can see we're using speed square, making sure it's square in 2 different directions. And we'll go ahead and tack that in. Here I'm going to do a vertical down just because it's easy. There you have it. You can see I worked it back and forth a little bit to get more of a gusset type weld. Building in some additional support because this area is going to be above the cab. There's going to be no upright underneath the front. The upright will be back here somewhere. Alright, it's welding and all of a sudden they couldn't run a bead. Here there's no gas coming out of there. See these gauges? She's empty. These things will run on what seems to be 0 for a long time. But this is the bitter end, so I'm going to change the solid. Close the tank off, back this regulator off. We got the top of this rack all landed. Now we're going to flip it and work on the legs. Here we're making a leg, you can see we have the 90-degree magnets on it. And we're using the square, which is right on the money. We're going to send it home with a couple of gussets on each foot. Got a leg up on the rack. You can see it's gusseted top and bottom. Just have it tacked in the bottom. Here we're attaching the legs to the frame. We got them square this way with square, and we made the top and bottom measurements the same, and we've also squared it up diagonally. So we're going to send these home and hope they somewhat stay in this position. 5 hours later, 3 guys were working on this, and we got her done. We got the front all squared up, and it turns out one leg was about half an inch out. You know, it's really tough to keep the stuff square when you're heating it with welds. So we'll just kind of tweak that in when we mount to the truck. Otherwise, for the most part, I think we got a pretty durable construction rack. Here's a look at her, how she's going to be sitting on the truck. So there really isn't any side gusseting at the top of these legs, so you can move those wherever you need them. Pretty nice looking rack. And now